Alright, so I'm aware that for media, a lot of people are going to be needing help with the production side of stuff, and obviously if you don't know anybody, then you're going to have to become an artist yourself. So what I decided to do is make a few videos sort of explaining how to use it and how to make your production the best way it can be. However, before we go into how to use the software itself, which is I'll be completely honest with you, I use a free software that I find online. It's actually quite good. It's basically just a website. I will leave a link in the description to the website itself, so that you can obviously sign up if you want to. A lot of people might have better software in that case. Still watch this video, because this is going to be the first video, which is the boring side, which is essentially theory. So if you're making a track, you need to make sure that it sounds alright. It actually sounds quite good. You need to make sure that it's not musically incorrect. Yeah, you basically need to know music theory slightly to make sure that your tracks are actually quite good. So here is I'm not very good at it, by the way. I just know the bare minimum when it comes to music theory. But at this point in time, because we don't really have much time to be doing this side of things, we have a lot more to be doing at the moment. Then don't worry about making them really complicated musically, because that way you're just going to spend loads of time doing something that's really complicated and it won't really work out. You'll find that the fact that it's too complicated kind of makes it hard to listen to. So I wouldn't go too deep into that right now. Anyway, here is kind of what I know about music theory to sort of try and help you with it. This is the boring video. If you want to skip this, go ahead, but you're going to find that production side of stuff is a lot harder depending on what kind of music you make and what kind of thing you do, essentially. I don't know, that's quite a bad way of wording it, but we know what I mean. Alright, so you must be aware there's something called scales, which is a selection of notes that fit into a scale of a certain key. For example, there's a C major scale, which sounds like this. So what you would do is, usually, you would try and keep your songs in the same key, and the notes in the key would be in that scale. For example, if you're going to make something in the key of C major, you would only use notes in that scale that I just used there. The notes are basically just the white keys. This is the easiest key to know because it doesn't involve any of the black keys, which can create more better sounds, I guess. It makes it sound a bit more interesting sometimes, but you can keep to that if you want. Obviously there are lots of other keys, D major, E major, F major, F minor. Minors are different. Minors are but yeah, you get two different types of keys. So you can get C major, D major, E major. You also get C minor, which is different. This involves a completely different scale, different chord, everything. So don't try and don't get it mixed up, because the C minor scale is not the same as the C major scale. It's completely different. You also get, if we're moving on to the black keys now, you do get a F sharp major. The sharp keys are basically, so say you have the note C, which is to the left of the two black keys. The note directly above that would be with the black key. That would be C sharp, but the note directly behind it would be C flat. We don't really have a C flat because that's literally just B, but for other let me think. For example, G. The note above that is a black key, and that's not C sharp. That's G sharp. But the note directly half a tone behind it, half a semitone. I don't know if the correct wording, if I'm completely honest, but directly behind it would be G flat, which is also F sharp. It gets complicated. I would usually prefer to see things as sharp notes rather than flat notes sometimes. I think it just depends on, for example, you don't usually say A sharp, you usually say B flat. But yeah, I did say my knowledge was very limited. Then we move on to chords. There are lots of different chord progressions that you can use to make your songs sound good, I guess. We usually call these things chord progressions because, I don't know, it's a certain sort of pattern that you would use for your chords, which can be put into any key pretty much, 1, 4 6 5, is that right? I think that's 5. 1 4 6 5 or 1 1 5 6 4, depending on what you decide to do in that case. But that would sound something like this. So that would be like a sort of, yeah, that's a chord progression for you. There are like loads and loads of other chord progressions out there. Like I think a lot of mainstream pop songs seem to use the same sort of chord progression, which is a major progression. I don't think minor songs really have that sort of like, I don't think they have the same progressions as major songs do. I'm realizing as I'm like talking into this, there's going to be stuff on the screen which is going to explain things a lot more clearly than I do speaking. I realize I'm being really confusing right now. But yeah, this is also, you need to make sure though that the chord progressions you use are in the same key. Like for example, the key of C major, I'll put that back up on the screen now. You wouldn't use a chord like for example D major there, because it's not in the same key. It involves the key F sharp instead of F. You'd only use D minor because it's in a different key. It's in the same key, and you basically can't go out the key because it just sounds wrong and it's musically incorrect and it just doesn't work. I think that's everything pretty much. Pretty much everything I could think of when it comes to music theory, which is really pathetic since I did music technology for GCSE. Hopefully this was of some sort of help to you. See you guys in a bit.